Good afternoon. This is Brock Thompson with Exit Realty Central, located here in Norfolk, Virginia. This is coming back to you again. We're going to start these up. Hopefully you saw my video yesterday. That was going to be on electronic signatures. Today I'm going to step into, we're going to kind of go through the first page of the contract. And as I said, this one's going to be a little bit more specific to our area in the Hampton Roads area. And what we call RAIN, which is like our governing body that goes over us in this area. So we're going to talk about a RAIN contract. And that, I'm going to show you the first page. This is kind of the first page, and you'll see up there at the corner where we're talking about RAIN. That's what I'm talking about. Kind of go through, and I'm going to try to hit up and show you what we're going to talk about. One area that I'm going to spend a little bit extra time on today is going to simply be what we call the earnest money deposit, where you may hear your agent refer to it as an EMD. So it's earnest money deposit, and we'll kind of talk about that. I'm going to hit that at the very end of this video and kind of tell you what that may mean. But overall, I'm going to try to go through this front page of the contract, and the whole goal of these videos is just to kind of let you know this is what I'm signing. This is what I'm putting my electronic signature on if you've watched my other video, and this is what I'm agreeing to. So bear with me, we're going to try to get this right in there. So up here at the top of your agreement, it asks for the date, and then between who. So it's going to be between the buyer, so whoever's purchasing the house, and then agreed upon the seller. So those two parts will be there. And then it has the two agencies. So for example, if I was representing the buyer, I would be the buyer represented by Exit Realty Central, seller represented by blank ABC Realty. So that's your top part. Then it actually gets into the contract. And this part right in here says the agreement to sell and the property there. And what it's going to ask you for two things. This part of your contract is going to actually outline what it is for you to look at, what the legal description of your property. And what that means is the actual legal description is the lot. So it's lot A, C, and area XYZ. It'll give you a legal description. This is in your tax records, is where this gets pulled out and kind of can identify it by the city. And then it says also known as, and what you would think, that's the actual property. So if it's 5569 New Colony Drive, that is the legal address of it. So that gives you your street, your zip, your state, all that on that part. Like I said, I'm going to kind of fly through the front page, and then I may do a separate little clip on EMD. Part 2 of the contract is labeled deposit. This is where you come up with the earnest money deposit. This may be where your agent, depending on the price point, everything kind of fluctuates, and different contracts require different things. This is where you're putting in your money down, and so typically like a $500 EMD for under $100,000, and definitely you're going up more $1,000 into it after that. And then it's going to be determined who holds that earnest money deposit. Like I said, I'm going to do a separate clip on this. That'll be a separate little add-on video to go through exactly what that means. So that's where your earnest money deposits. You need to ask your realtor, your agent, how much they suggest, why they suggest that part. And like I said, I'm going to explain that in the second video. Then you get into your part 3 on the front page. This is your purchase price. So this is how much you as a buyer are offering for this house. So you're gonna, if it's $200,000, that's what you're agreeing, that you're saying you're gonna offer for this house. As a seller, this is also what you're gonna look at and say, okay, this is what they offered me, and this is the part of the contract that will stand out and say, okay, they offered me $200,000. Is that what I asked for? Is that what I am willing to take? Maybe you are, maybe you're not, but that's where this part of the contract. So that's in section 3. So first is agreement to sell the property, names where the property is. 2 is what the deposit is, how much earnest money deposit. 3, is your purchase price. And in that little section, it also is going to tell you how much your down payment is in section 3. This is going to come from your lender. For example, an FHA typically asks for 3.5% down. That means 3.5% of whatever that purchase price is what the lender is saying, hey, this is what you need to put down. It's going to be your fees and different things like that. Each loan has a little bit different. So VA has a different, FHA has a little bit different. Conventional typically maybe 5%, especially in this area. So you need to ask your lender on there, and it kind of gives through. It's a cash deal. Again, that's a whole different little section, but it still falls under section 3. So all your funding and how that's going to be done, your breakdown of what you're bringing to the table, sometimes it's on there. Sometimes for me, I have to use to be determined, because that means I don't necessarily know for sure how much the lender is going to require. Or, for example, you're required 3.5%, but you're going to tell later on, you decide, hey, I may bring 10% down, so it's going to lower my payments and so forth. But that's part of there. And then this part, so on page 1 of our contract, we have section 1, 2, and 3. Again, follow my clip after this. I'm going to go into EMD in just a second, but I want it to be on another one. If you have any questions about sections 1, 2, or 3, and each day I'm going to kind of go through each page, please let me know. Leave me a question below, or you can give me a call or email me. My phone number and everything will be below this also. Thank you again, and this is Brock Thompson with Exit Realty Central.